He wasn't supposed to stop. Not here. Not on this road that cut through the forest like a scar no one wanted to remember. The engine was still running when it happened. A low growl, barely a sound, more like a vibration through bone than air. Ethan Walker felt it before he heard it. His hands tightened on the steering wheel. The tires hummed against damp asphalt. Headlights stretched thin across the winding road ahead, catching fragments of drifting mist, broken branches, the occasional flicker of reflected eyes that vanished as quickly as they appeared. Rex, the name left his mouth quietly. A habit, a check. But Rex wasn't looking at him. The German shepherd stood rigid in the back seat, muscles drawn tight beneath his sable coat, ears forward, eyes locked on something beyond the glass. Not the road, the trees. Dark, still, watching. Ethan exhaled slowly. Easy. But the dog didn't move, didn't blink. And then, he jumped. The door hadn't even fully opened before Rex forced his way through it, landing hard on the gravel shoulder with a sharp crunch that echoed too loudly in the silence. The suddenness of it snapped the moment in half. Ethan cursed under his breath, already reaching for the brake. That's not funny. But Rex didn't turn back, didn't hesitate. He moved straight toward the tree line, disappearing between the trunks like a shadow that had found its place again. And that was wrong. Rex didn't break commands. Not after everything. Not after years of discipline burned into instinct. Not after nights where silence meant survival and a single wrong move could cost more than either of them were willing to lose. Ethan killed the engine. The world answered with stillness. No wind, no distant traffic, not even insects, just a faint ticking of cooling metal and something else. A smell. He didn't notice it at first. Not fully, but it lingered in the air, thin and metallic, mixed with damp earth and rotting leaves. Something out of place. Something that didn't belong to the quiet rhythm of the woods. Ethan stepped out. The cold met him immediately, seeping through his jacket, curling around his neck like a warning he couldn't quite name. Rex. No response. Only the forest. He grabbed the flashlight from the console and clicked it on. The beam cut a narrow path through the darkness, catching the pale bark of trees, the low tangle of underbrush, the glisten of moisture clinging to everything like a second skin. Then movement. Just ahead. A flick of tail. A shift of shadow. Rex. Standing at the edge of the woods. Waiting. Not pacing. Not scanning. Waiting. For him. Ethan swallowed, something tightening in his chest. This better not be a deer. But even as he said it, he knew. This wasn't curiosity. It was purpose. He stepped off the road. The ground changed instantly, softer, uneven, damp beneath his boots. Each step sank slightly, releasing the scent of soil and decay, the quiet breath of a forest that had been left alone too long. Branches brushed against his arms. Cold. Vet. Unforgiving. Rex moved again. Deeper. Ethan followed. 10 steps. 20. The road disappeared behind them faster than it should have. The darkness thickened, swallowing the last traces of open sky until only fragments of pale light filtered through the canopy above. Rex slowed down, but the dog didn't slow. He wasn't running. He was leading, and that realization settled into Ethan's bones with a weight he couldn't shake. This wasn't random. This wasn't instinct reacting to prey. This was something else. Something remembered. The smell grew stronger. Sharper now. Metal. And something colder beneath it. Ethan's grip tightened around the flashlight. Hey, he stopped. Because Rex had stopped. Just ahead, barely visible through the brush, the dog stood completely still. Head low. Ears forward. Body tense in a way Ethan had only seen a handful of times. Moments before something changed forever. The beam of light trembled slightly as Ethan raised it. Leaves. Branches. Shadows. Then, a shape. Not clear. Not yet. Just enough to feel wrong. Rex let out a soft sound. Not a bark. Not a growl. Something quieter. Something that sounded almost like recognition. Ethan's pulse kicked hard against his ribs. What did you find? No answer. Only the forest holding its breath. And the feeling, deep, unshakable, that whatever waited in that darkness Rex had already known it was there. In this deeply emotional cinematic journey, a U.S. Marine and his loyal German shepherd uncover a hidden truth beneath the floor of an old house, where a faint cry leads to a forgotten story waiting to be heard. This powerful narrative blends mystery, memory, and quiet redemption, making it one of the most moving animal stories that explores the unspoken bond between a soldier and his canine companion. As the Marine follows the instincts of his dog, he discovers a hidden chamber containing a child's belongings, handwritten notes, and fragments of a life once lived, revealing a story not of fear, but of waiting, hope, and a need to be remembered. Unlike typical animal stories, this tale does not rely on action or shock, but instead builds a slow, immersive emotional experience through atmosphere, silence, and subtle signals that only a trained dog could recognize. The German Shepherd becomes more than a companion, acting as a guide between what is seen and unseen, proving once again why animal stories centered around canine loyalty resonate so deeply with audiences. As the mystery unfolds, the Marine realizes that not all discoveries are meant to be explained, but rather understood and honored. A theme that elevates this story beyond ordinary animal stories into something spiritual and reflective. Through careful storytelling and cinematic pacing, this narrative captures the essence of connection, loss, and healing, reminding viewers that even the quietest voices deserve to be heard. For those who seek meaningful and heartfelt animal stories, this experience offers a unique blend of suspense and emotional depth, grounded in realism and guided by the unwavering presence of a German Shepherd whose instincts reveal more than words ever could. In the end, this is not just a story about what was hidden beneath the floor, but about the enduring power of loyalty, memory, and the silent grace found in the most unforgettable animal stories. The smell changes first, not stronger, just clearer, like something the air had been hiding is finally allowed to breathe. Ethan feels it settle at the back of his throat, thin, metallic, threaded with something colder, something that doesn't belong to earth or rain or time. Rex reacts before he does. The German Shepherd's body tightens, every line of muscle drawn with purpose. His ears shift, not forward this time, but slightly outward, catching something Ethan cannot hear yet. A low sound hums in his chest. Not a warning. Not quite. It's recognition, layered with unease. Ethan lowers the flashlight beam, letting it sweep slower across the ground. The disturbed leaves form a path now. Not random, not scattered, pressed in a direction that leads deeper into the narrow throat of the trees. Someone came through here, he murmurs, voice barely more than breath. Rex takes another step, careful, controlled, but there's a hesitation now, so slight most would miss it. Ethan doesn't. You feel it too, don't you? No answer, only the quiet rhythm of the forest tightening around them. The air grows heavier. Sound disappears. Not fades, disappears. No insects, no distinct. Even their own movement feels muted, like the world has been wrapped in something thick and unseen. Ethan's pulse begins to climb. Slow at first, then sharper. Familiar. Too familiar. His grip on the flashlight shifts, knuckles whitening slightly as the beam flickers across something new. A mark on the bark of a tree. He steps closer, angling the light. It's faint, almost hidden beneath moisture and shadow. But it's there. A scrape. Not from nature. Not from weather. A deliberate line, cut into the surface. Shallow, but intentional. Ethan's jaw tightens. That's fresh. Rex moves past him. Faster now. The hesitation gone. Replaced with urgency. He veers slightly off the path, nose lowering closer to the ground. Inhaling in short, sharp bursts. Tracking. Ethan turns quickly, following. Rex, wait. But the dog doesn't stop. He weaves through tighter growth, pushing past branches that snap softly under pressure. The beam of light struggles to keep up, catching only fragments, dark fur, shifting shadows, glimpses of movement that feel just out of sync with reality. The smell intensifies again, not overwhelming, but wrong. like metal left in rain too long, like something abandoned too recently. Ethan feels it now, not just in his lungs, but deeper, in his chest. That quiet pressure, that instinct he spent years trying to ignore, then years learning to trust again. He slows, just for a second. The forest seems to lean in around him, waiting, listening, watching. Rex, this time, there's something in his voice. A question, a warning, maybe both. Rex stops, abruptly, so suddenly Ethan nearly walks into him. The dog's body is rigid again, but different now. Not just alert, not just focused. There's tension there, a tremor beneath the surface. Ethan follows his line of sight. The flashlight beam drifts forward, over roots, over damp soil, over a shallow dip in the ground that looks disturbed. The earth here is darker, softer, uneven, as if something or someone has been here longer than they should have. Ethan steps closer, boots sinking slightly. The ground gives under his weight in a way that feels wrong. Too loose, too recent. His breath slows. He doesn't finish the sentence. Because Rex moves again, not forward, not away, but sideways, circling, his nose skimming the edge of the disturbed ground, movements tighter now, faster, searching for something specific. Ethan watches him, heart beginning to pound harder. What is it? Rex stops mid-step, freezes. Then he lets out a sound. Soft, broken, not a growl, not a bark, a whine, low, deep, the kind that doesn't come from fear, the kind that comes from knowing. Ethan feels something shift inside him, a quiet dread, rising slow and heavy. Rex, the dog, doesn't move, doesn't look away. His eyes are locked on a single point just beyond the disturbed patch of earth. Ethan forces himself to follow that gaze. The flashlight trembles slightly as he lifts it higher. The beam catches on something pale, barely visible beneath a layer of leaves and shadow. A shape, too still, too human. Ethan's breath catches. His mind tries to reject it, to reshape it into something harmless. A fallen branch, a trick of light, anything else. But Rex doesn't move, and Rex is never wrong. The beam steadies, inches closer. The pale shape becomes clearer. A curve, a contour, something that doesn't belong to the forest floor. Ethan feels his pulse in his ears now. Loud, relentless. No, he whispers, though he doesn't know why, or who he's saying it to. Rex takes one slow step forward, then stops again, waiting, as if crossing that final distance will make it real. Ethan swallows hard. The air feels thinner, harder to pull in. His boots feel heavier as he steps forward beside the dog. One step, then another. The beam of light locks onto the shape. And this time it doesn't look away, because now Ethan can see it clearly. And the moment he does, everything inside him goes still, because the shape on the ground moves. It moves. Not much, just enough to break the illusion. Ethan's breath locks in his chest, halfway in, halfway out, as if his body itself doesn't know whether to stay or run. The shape shifts again, a slight tremor beneath the leaves. A faint rise, then fall. Breathing. Jesus. The word slips out before he can stop it. Rex is already there. The German shepherd steps forward with sudden urgency, closing the final distance in 2 silent strides. His nose presses gently against the edge of the shape, careful, almost reverent. Another sound escapes him. Softer now. Fragile. Ethan drops to his knees beside him. The ground is colder here, damp enough to seep through denim instantly, biting into his skin. He barely feels it. His hands move automatically, brushing away leaves, clearing branches, uncovering what the forest tried to hide. A hand. Human. Pale. Weak. Barely moving. Ethan's pulse spikes. Hey, can you hear me? No response. He clears more debris, working faster now, fingers shaking as the outline of a body emerges. A woman, partially pinned beneath a fallen section of trunk and tangled branches, her form twisted in a way that speaks of time. Too much time spent here. But she's alive. Barely. Her chest rises shallowly. Uneven. Ethan leans closer, straining to hear it. There. A breath. Thin as thread. Stay with me. He murmurs, though he doesn't know if she can hear him. Rex presses closer to her side, his body low, his head hovering just above her arm. He doesn't touch her again, just stays, watching, waiting. Ethan scans quickly. The tree isn't massive, but it's heavy enough, angled across her lower body, caught between two larger roots that keep it suspended just enough to trap rather than crush. A cruel kind of balance. Okay, he exhales, forcing focus. Think, leverage, position, time. He shifts, planting his boots more firmly into the soil, testing the weight of the trunk with one hand. It doesn't budge, not even a fraction. Damn it. Rex lets out a low, restless whine. I know, Ethan mutters. I know. He looks around, scanning for anything, branches, rocks, something to use as a lever. The flashlight lies angled in the dirt now, its beam cutting sideways across the scene, casting long shadows that move with every shift of his body. The forest feels closer, tighter, like it's watching this unfold. Ethan grabs a fallen limb nearby, thick, solid, and wedges it under the trunk, testing the angle. All right, come on, he pushes down. Muscles strain, shoulders tighten, breath sharpens. For a second, nothing. Then a shift. Small, but real. The trunk creaks softly as it lifts just enough to relieve pressure. Good. He adjusts quickly, pushing harder, holding the weight as best he can. Rex, stay with her. The dog doesn't move. Doesn't need to be told twice. Ethan grits his teeth, forcing more pressure through his arms, trying to create space. Hey, he calls, voice strained now. You need to move, all right? I can't hold this long. A faint sound answers him. So quiet he almost misses it. A breath that turns into something like a whisper. Her fingers twitch. Rex leans closer, his nose brushing lightly against her wrist. Yeah, that's it. Ethan urges. Stay with me. Come on. The trunk shifts again. Unstable. Ethan feels it immediately, the balance changing, the weight redistributing in a way he doesn't like. Not good. The branch under his leverage point cracks slightly. A warning. He pushes harder. Move, he snaps, urgency breaking through now. You have to move. The woman stirs again. Her head tilts slightly to one side. Lips part. A sound escapes. Ethan freezes for half a second. Then, Rex reacts. Sharp. Immediate. He steps forward, pressing closer. A soft, desperate whine rising from his chest. Rex, the name is barely there. Broken, but unmistakable. Ethan's mind stumbles. What? The trunk slips. Just a fraction, but enough. The branch beneath it splinters with a sharp crack. No. The weight drops. Fast, violent in its suddenness. Ethan jerks back instinctively, barely clearing his hands as the trunk slams down again, pinning the woman with a dull, final sound that echoes through the trees. Silence follows. Heavy, crushing. Rex lets out a sharp bark, his first, stepping forward again, frantic now, circling, searching for a way in. Ethan scrambles back into position, heart racing. No, stay with me, he shouts, dropping beside her again. Hands hovering, unsure where to touch, what to move, what not to. Her breathing. He leans closer, listens, waits. For a second, there's nothing. Then, a faint inhale. Still there, still fighting. But weaker, much weaker. Ethan's chest tightens. We're not losing you, he mutters, more to himself than to her. Rex stops moving, freezes again. But this time, it's not the body he's looking at. It's something else. Behind them, deeper in the forest. His ears lift. Slowly, his body goes still in a way Ethan hasn't seen since before things go bad. Really bad. Ethan notices. Of course he does. What is it? Rex doesn't answer. Doesn't move. Just stares into the darkness beyond the broken trees. And then, a sound. Not close. Not loud. But wrong. A soft crack of a branch. Too deliberate to be the wind. Too heavy. To be small. Ethan turns slowly. The flashlight beam drags across the trees, searching, shaking slightly now. The forest gives nothing back. Just shadows. Just silence. But Rex doesn't bark. Doesn't move. because whatever made that sound is still there, watching them. And this time, they're not alone. For a moment, everything hangs on a thread so thin it feels imaginary. Ethan doesn't move. He doesn't breathe. His entire world narrows to the faint rise of her chest beneath the weight of the fallen trunk, and the terrifying possibility that it might not rise again. Come on, come on. His voice is no longer steady. It fractures. Not loud, not panicked, just stripped of everything except need. Rex presses closer, his body low against the ground, eyes locked on the woman's face. He doesn't look at the forest anymore. Doesn't care about the sound in the dark. Right now, there's only her. Ethan leans in, bringing his ear close to her mouth, searching for breath. Nothing. His chest tightens violently. No. His hand hovers over her shoulder, unsure, afraid to make it worse, afraid not to try at all. His fingers tremble, then finally settle, lightly, carefully. Hey, stay with me, he whispers, the words breaking apart as they leave him. You don't get to quit here. Not like this. Still nothing. The forest feels like it's closing in. The silence is louder now. Oza. Crushing. Ethan swallows hard, forcing his thoughts into order. Check airway. Check breathing. Don't freeze. Don't. His hands move again, instinct taking over where emotion threatens to shut him down. He shifts slightly, trying to free her upper body without disturbing the weight pinning her lower half. Rex, easy. The dog doesn't need the command. He shifts back just enough to give Ethan space, but his eyes never leave her. His breathing is uneven now, shallow, like he's holding something inside he doesn't understand. Ethan tilts her head gently. Come on, breathe. Second stretch. Too long. Too quiet. And then a faint sound. So soft it almost disappears before it exists. A broken inhale. Ethan freezes, then leans closer. There, another. Weak. Uneven. But there. Relief hits him hard, sharp enough to almost hurt. That's it. He breathes, voice rough now. Stay with me. Just like that. But it's not enough. He can see it. The way her skin has lost color. The way her body barely responds. The way each breath looks like it costs more than the last. She's fading. And fast. Ethan's jaw tightens. Not again. The thought comes uninvited. Unwanted. But it's there. Clear. Cold. Not again. For a split second, the forest disappears. Replaced by another place. Another time. Dust instead of damp earth. Heat instead of cold. A body on the ground. Still. Too still. He remembers the weight of it. The helplessness. The way time stretched and collapsed all at once while he knelt there, waiting for a breath that never came. Waiting for a sign that didn't arrive. His fingers curl slightly against the woman's shoulder. Not this time, he mutters, barely audible. His voice is different now. Lower. Steadier. Carrying something deeper than urgency. A refusal. You hear me? He says, leaning closer to her ear. You don't get to be another one I couldn't bring back. Rex shifts again, letting out a soft, aching whine. The sound cuts through Ethan more than anything else. He glances at the dog, really looks this time. The tension, the way Rex's body leans toward her without touching. The way his eyes soften, not with confusion, but with recognition. She knows you. Ethan whispers, almost to himself. The thought doesn't make sense. Not yet, but it sits there, heavy, waiting. Ethan exhales sharply, pushing it aside. Focus. He looks back at the trunk. Still heavy. Still immovable. But not impossible. Not yet. He scans quickly, mind racing. Leverage failed. Time is running out. The forest presses closer with every second that passes. And that sound, that faint, deliberate crack from deeper in the trees, it hasn't come again. Which somehow feels worse. Ethan shakes his head slightly. One problem at a time. He leans in again, voice quieter now, closer. You're not alone, all right? He murmurs. You've got him. You've got me. Just stay. Her lips move. Barely. Ethan leans closer, straining to hear. A whisper. Fragmented. Didn't leave. Rex's ears twitch. His entire body goes still. Ethan's pulse spikes again. What did you say? But her voice is gone. Slipped back into silence. Her breathing falters. Shallower now. More uneven. Ethan feels it immediately, the shift. The edge. The moment where survival begins to slip. No. Hey, stay with me. He snaps, urgency surging back hard. Don't do that. Don't you dare do that. Rex lets out a sharp, broken sound, stepping forward again, unable to stay back any longer. He presses closer, his nose brushing her arm, his body trembling now in a way Ethan has never seen before. Not fear, not aggression, something deeper, something that looks a lot like grief arriving too early. Ethan's chest tightens painfully. Hey, he says again, softer now, almost pleading. Hey, look at me. Come on. But her eyes don't open. Her chest barely moves. And for the first time since he found her, Ethan doesn't know if the next breath is coming. The forest holds still. Rex doesn't move. Ethan leans closer, waiting, listening, hoping. And then, nothing. Not a sound. Not a breath. Not even the faint rise he's been clinging to. Just stillness. Complete. Final. Ethan's hand freezes against her shoulder. His mind refuses to accept it. No. The word breaks. Quiet. Disbelieving. Rex lets out a low, hollow sound that seems to sink into the ground itself. Ethan closes his eyes for half a second. Just one. As if that might change something. As if when he opens them, she'll breathe again. But before he can even move, before he can even process what this means, Rex's head snaps up. Sharp. Sudden. His body goes rigid. Not with grief. Not anymore. With something else. Something immediate. Something dangerous. Ethan's eyes open instantly. What? Rex turns. Fussed. Toward the darkness behind them. A growl builds deep in his chest now, low, controlled, but unmistakably different from before. Ethan feels it again. That shift. That presence. Closer now. Much closer. The forest is no longer silent. It's listening. And whatever is out there is moving toward them. For a heartbeat, nothing exists. No sound. No movement. No this. Ethan doesn't accept it. He can't. His hand presses harder against her shoulder, as if force alone could pull her back across whatever line she's slipping past. No, stay with me. But Rex is no longer beside her. The dog moves. Fussed. Not toward the forest this time. Toward her chest. He lowers his head sharply, pressing his ear against her ribs, stilling himself with an intensity that borders on absolute. Listening. Ethan freezes. What are you? Rex doesn't react. Doesn't move. Second stretch. Then a sound. Not from the forest. Not from the dark. From her. So faint it barely exists. A stutter. A broken, buried breath. Rex lifts his head. Sound cracks through the forest like a gunshot. And for a second, everything stops. The shape halts. Frozen at the edge of light. A standoff. Ethan's pulse slams hard against his ribs. Back off, he says, louder now, forcing steel into his voice. You hear me? Back off. The words feel thin against the weight of the moment. But Rex doesn't falter. He steps forward, just one pace, placing himself fully between the darkness and the woman. A line, drawn in instinct, in loyalty, in something older than command. Ethan watches him, and something inside him breaks open, because he's seen this before. Not here, not like this, but the posture, the refusal to move, the silent promise, I don't leave. His throat tightens. Rex. The name comes out different this time. Not a command, a memory. Behind him, the woman stirs. A breath. Stronger now. Uneven but real. Ethan turns back instantly, dropping to his knees beside her again. Hey, stay with me. That's it. You're doing good. Her eyelids flutter. Slow. Heavy. Like it costs her everything just to try. Cold, she whispers. I know. Ethan murmurs quickly. I know, just hold on. Help's coming. Even as he says it, he knows it isn't. Not yet. Not fast enough. Rex growls again. Louder. Ethan looks up. The shape hasn't left. But it hasn't come closer either. It waits. As if measuring something. As if deciding. Ethan feels the pressure building again. Two fronts. One behind. One beneath his hands. He can't fight both. He can barely hold one. His mind races. Think. Move. Survive. But Rex doesn't retreat. Doesn't even look back. He holds the line. And in that moment, Ethan understands. He's buying time. The realization hits hard. Clear. Rex isn't just reacting. He's choosing. Choosing to stand there. Choosing to face whatever is out there so Ethan can focus here. On her. On the life still hanging by a thread. Ethan exhales sharply. All right, he mutters. All right, I see you. He turns back fully to the woman. Hands moving again, more certain now. Hey, listen to me, he says, leaning close, voice low but urgent. You're not done yet. You hear me? Not tonight. Her lips tremble. Rex, the name comes clearer this time. Stronger. And something changes. Rex's growl breaks. Just for a second. A crack in the tension. He glances back. Only for a moment. But it's enough. There. Eyes meet. And in that brief exchange, something passes between them. Recognition. Relief. Something deeper. Ethan feels it. Like standing at the edge of a truth he doesn't fully understand yet. You know her? He breathes. Not a question. A realization. Rex turns back to the darkness immediately. The growl returns. Stronger. But now, there's something else in it. Not just warning. Claim. This is mine. You don't take it. The forest responds. Another step. Closer than before. Too close. Ethan's heart hammers. Rex. But the dog doesn't move. Doesn't retreat. He lowers his body further, bracing. Ready. And that's when the woman's hand moves. Sudden. Weak, but intentional. Her fingers catch Ethan's sleeve. Grip. Barely there. But enough. He looks down instantly. I'm here, he says quickly. I'm right here. Her eyes open. Just a sliver. Clouded. But focused. On him. Then past him. To Rex. Tears well instantly, spilling over without resistance. You came back. The words are broken. Fragile. But they land like something sacred. Rex lets out a sound Ethan has never heard before. Not a bark. Not a growl. Something softer. Something that trembles. Ethan feels his chest tighten painfully. Because in that moment, it's no longer just a rescue. It's a return. A bond that never broke. A promise that waited, even when everything else didn't. And whatever is standing in the dark feels it too. Because it moves. Not forward. Not away. But back. Just one step. Then another. Slow. Reluctant. As if something unseen has shifted the balance. As if the line Rex drew has meaning. Ethan watches, breath caught somewhere between disbelief and hope. What are you? No answer. Only the shape fading slightly into the trees. Not gone. Not yet. But no longer closing in. Ethan looks back at Rex. At the woman. At the fragile, impossible thread connecting them. And for the first time since this began, he feels it. Not certainty. Not safety. But something close. A miracle trying to happen. And then, the woman's grip loosens. Her hand slips. Her breath falters again. And this time, it's different. Sharper. More dangerous. Ethan's eyes snap back to her chest. Hey, no. Stay with me. But her body doesn't respond. Rex turns instantly. The darkness forgotten. The threat gone. Because now, everything comes down to this. And Ethan realizes they may have just been given a second chance. Only to lose. Her anyway. It steps into the edge of the light. Not fully. Never fully. Just enough for the forest to admit. It was never empty. Ethan doesn't raise the flashlight higher. He doesn't need to. Rex already knows. The German shepherd's growl deepens, vibrating through the ground, through Ethan's boots, through the fragile space where hope and fear are fighting for the same breath. His body is locked in place, every muscle coiled, every instinct sharpened to a blade. Between the woman and whatever is out there. Easy, Ethan whispers, though his own voice isn't steady anymore. Another step. Closer. The shape shifts again, tall, indistinct, moving with a slow, deliberate weight that doesn't belong to wind or chance. Ethan feels it now. Not just danger. Intent. Watching turns into choosing. And whatever it is, it's choosing them. Rex barks. Sharp. Explosive. The sound cracks through the forest like a gunshot. And for a second, everything stops. The shape halts. Frozen at the edge of light. A standoff. Ethan's pulse slams hard against his ribs. Back off, he says, louder now, forcing steel into his voice. You hear me? Back off. The words feel thin against the weight of the moment. But Rex doesn't falter. He steps forward, just one pace, placing himself fully between the darkness and the woman. A line, drawn in instinct, in loyalty, in something older than command. Ethan watches him, and something inside him breaks open. Because he's seen this before. Not here, not like this. But the posture, the refusal to move, the silent promise, I don't leave. His throat tightens. Rex, the name comes out different this time. Not a command, a memory. Behind him, the woman stirs. A breath, stronger now, uneven but real. Ethan turns back instantly, dropping to his knees beside her again. Hey, stay with me. That's it, you're doing good. Her eyelids flutter. Slow, heavy, like it costs her everything just to try. Cold, she whispers. I know. Ethan murmurs quickly. I know, just hold on. Help's coming. Even as he says it, he knows it isn't. Not yet. Not fast enough. Rex growls again. Louder. Ethan looks up. The shape hasn't left, but hasn't come closer either. It waits, as if measuring something, as if deciding. Ethan feels the pressure building again. Two fronts. One behind, one beneath his hands. He can't fight both. He can barely hold one. His mind races.